Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, YouTubers. Jerry Diamond, How to Get Out of Babylon. An addendum to the salt question, salt pipe, etc. And that is improvise. Do something. I don't care what it is. I tell people about growing, oh yeah, I'll do that when I get there to the Ozarks. And I gave one guy, he came out, he's going to help me. I gave him everything. I gave him the wire, and he was an electrician type guy. I gave him the wire, I gave him a wrist strap, told him just stick this wire in the ground. He never bothered to do it, So I don't care how you do it. I'm saying this because of Lou saying he used a paper towel roll. Absolute kudos, George Patton said, an imperfect battle plan put into action today is better than a perfect battle plan put into action tomorrow. Now, I'm kind of a balance between, perfectionist in some areas, but, when it comes down to seeing something put into action, just do it. Just do it. So, the lady that told me to read The Last Centurion, she highly recommended that book, and I highly recommend you read it. It's got a lot of French in it. Oh, well. I told that to Nova, my whatever you want to call her, leader over in the northeastern part of the Ozark Plateau. I said, General Nova, whatever, sayings of Chairwoman Nova. I took a lot of her sayings and compiled them into a list, just very simple, but very wise stuff. And, I said, read this book. I said, it's got a lot of French in it. She goes, oh, that's okay. Thanks to you. I'm fluent in French. She knew exactly what I was talking about. Effing this and effing that and effing the other thing. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So anyway, do something. Do something, But anyway, this lady, and her nickname was Dinky. She's a big woman, and, she did sniper or, marksman training, military marksman training, and she was tough. So one guy said, man, Dinky cuts your balls off and don't give them back till you earn them, and I'm like, whoa. So she was hardcore, absolute perfectionist. So here she is, this do it by the book. And I told her about the idea of a salt pipe. She goes, how can we get this out to the masses? Can we use cardboard, paper toilet paper tubes? And I'm like, man, woman after my own heart. Yeah, cool. Awesome. I gave her a bunch of stuff to try to keep her alive, because she was not in good health. And another fascinating thing about her was I had like 20 seconds with her. Well, I drove her down to a shooting range. I asked John, she had a bad leg, and I asked John if I could use his truck. Yeah, she got in, I got in. I said, I don't know, I may never get to talk to you again, but I wanted you to know that I believe that the Ozark Plateau is the great central region in the continental United States that will be a refuge place for everybody that wants to come in the coming times as things break down. I didn't know nothing about her. Turns out she was a Christian. My kids, they've been to several Appleseeds with her, never talked to her about nothing. So I have 20 seconds, 30 seconds with her, and I tell her this, and she goes like, oh, that's awesome. She said, because the very first Appleseed I came to in Missouri, I was 1/3 of the way up the guy's driveway, and God spoke to me and said, this is where you're going to live. And she goes, on this farm? And he says, no, silly, just in Missouri. She had an amazing relationship. She said when she was a little girl, 3 years old, she asked God, what are you? And God said, I am electricity, And look at the Ark of the Covenant, and look at the, different things there. The electric universe. What does universe mean? One verse, one word, one turning. A midwife does a version that is a turning the baby over. So one turning, one word, one spoken word. It's all one. God is, I am that I am, I exist. But the universe is electrical. The whole nuclear sun, bullshit, is just smoke and mirrors. Like I said, I'm not going to go into that. But so I looked up. I thought, man, Dinky. That's weird. License plate, Dinky. So it comes from the French from Vietnam. There's a lot of French in Vietnam because of the French were there before we were. They turned it over about 1949. 50, somewhere in there, I don't know. We got in, so we got our butts kicked like they got their butts kicked. Anyway, supposedly. Dienkien, buku dienkien down. Buku, like buku, lot, much, much crazy is what it means. Much crazy person. So, anyway, but think outside the box. Even though she's a perfectionist for shooting, when I gave her the idea of the salt pipe, she's like, how can we get this to everybody? Important. She could see she was intelligent enough to see the absolute utter significance, importance of it, and how can you immediately get that out to everybody? So, toilet paper tubes, paper towel tubes. Good job, Lou. So anyway, and just, yeah, I will stress again, something small. Now, PEX, one lady, again, another lady took I was at feast day, and she had about a half inch, maybe, I think it was half inch, maybe 3/4 inch diameter PEX tubing. Well, for $45, you can get 200 feet of PEX tubing, okay? And now you'd have to figure something to cap it with. Maybe you use conventional PVC, because PEX caps or whatever. Look into that. So a little half-inch PEX tube. I figured, I don't know, I did the math on it. 200 feet, let's say you did them 4 inches long, 3 per feet, 3 times, 600 tubes for $50. 600 salt pipes for $50. Yeah, again, that's about as pricey as these. So these are made to hold salt. You can actually use it as a salt shaker for your food. The holes are big enough to let some of the salt through, and you'll retain the larger chunks. Or put both pink Himalayan and gray Celtic sea salt in there, so that you have you for sure will keep salt in there. And of course, spray them with salt. I've got some of the flat ones coming. Spray them with salt, dunk them in salt, and hang them up, let them dry. Mask. And like I said, these, if you think of using this over your ears, the other ones, that's what they do. These are very difficult to put on, very difficult to take off. If you're wearing a hat, if it's cold out, they're a royal pain in the ass, and they make them almost impossible, whereas the around the ear ones make 900 times more sense. Those things are stupid, even though it's a H5N1 bird flu certified okie dokie face mask. Poop on it. Soak them in salt. All right, that's it. This is Jerry Diamond. If you're listening to this, you're the remnant. Thank you. Do something about it. Get it done, like Lou did, damn it.